Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you very much for tuning in. I've not done this for so long, I forgot what I normally would say. Happy New Year. Probably start with that. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you all had a good New Year's Day and Christmas Day and whatever else, Hanukkah, Body Day, stuff like that. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed your holiday period, if that's what you're into. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, because it really helps the channel out and I massively appreciate it. And yeah, I'm back on. I had a couple of months off, or a couple of weeks or months, whatever it was, just because I couldn't be bothered. Just couldn't be bothered filming, couldn't be bothered editing the videos they had ready, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm back now, back, new year, new me and all that nonsense. Today we're going over to a bathroom and we are installing 2 fused connection units right next to a bathtub. That's exactly what we're doing. If you want to find out why, stay tuned and watch the video. See you over there. Right, we're on the job now. So new circuits going in from this area here. We're going to come from this board because it's got a spare way. That one there's full. So this one, there's a spare way. We've got a RCD main switch, which is type AC, but I've got a new type A to go in there, and a 20 amp radial, 20 amp 2.5 radial. So the plan is to angle drill through the wall there, which will then, I need to be careful where I film, I can't get any footage of photographs, anything like that. So apologise for the look on the floor, but that's what you're getting. No pictures in here, is there? So angle drill through, which is just on the upper side of that wall, should bring us into this boxing in, which is a soil stack. Then we can get up that soil stack and into this loft. This is like a single story extension on the side. And then we're going to go through the loft, out the soffit board on the outside, because we're trying to do it with no damage to this bathroom, because obviously it's fairly new. Down, and then drill through the wall, and we get 2 spurs mounted right there, ready for it. This bath is going, and the new bath's going in. That's what the spurs are for, but you'll see more of that. Look at that for right in this corner, beautiful. Nice. Right, so that's the hard, scary bit out of the way. Now we know we're not going to damage any walls at all. Come through there, go up into the loft. Through this loft, which is very tight. I don't know what you can see there, it might be too dark. And through. Right, so as you've seen, we've come through the wall, drilled through. The next thing that I want to do is get my spurs roughly where they're going, so I can drill through there, out to the outside, because I need a hole in the soffit board for the conduit, but I don't want to put the conduit hole in until I know where the spurs are lining up, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to drill through, then I can stop end box on the other side, line it up with a hole, put an hole on the soffit board. That gives us our cable run. Then we're using, as we always would, quick click aqua IP or whatever they're called spurs. Well, these are sockets, but we're going to change that for a spur. Unswitched is what the bath company has asked for. The reason I buy the sockets though is you can buy this enclosure, single enclosure from Click, but it's dearer than buying a single socket, so don't know why. It's cheaper to buy that socket and then just change the spur, change it for a spur. Yeah, so what we're putting in is 2 spurs, and the bath is going to be a lift bath. It lifts up and down or something to do with that. Might put a screenshot of the bath on the screen, but we're not fitting the bath. The manufacturer of the bath fits the bath. They just need 2 spurs, one 13 amp, one 5 amp IP rated spurs with Copex long enough to go underneath the bath. That's what they want to be left with. So that's what we'll leave them with. So yeah, next job, drill through these tiles. It is tile, isn't it? Yeah. Drill through these tiles, and then we can line up outside to the soft. Excuse me.
He's watching Nick Bundy.
He's watching Nick Bundy while he's at work, look. I'll tell him to block you from his channel. Anyway, yeah, so have we shown this before on YouTube or was it on Instagram, Ryan?
Instagram, I think.
I think it was as well. So, as you know, with these click sockets, you get like that rubber gasket around the edge. So when you've got two of them, you need a slight gap, otherwise they don't fit together. So what we do to link them together is using a nipple, and that is the real name for it, Ryan.
Whose idea is this?
Mine. Yeah, use one of them, and that is the perfect gap for it. So to be able to link them together without like causing any issue. I can't talk today. Yeah, I can't talk. I keep stuttering.
Oh, yeah.
So that
it is though. It keeps them like sturdy together. Do you know?
Yeah, it keeps them solid. Keeps them solid, and then link them together like so. Gives you that tiny little gap for the rubber to fit nicely, which I'll show you in a second. And all the while, the gap in the middle is black. I've seen some people use like the brass things, but you can see the brass through the gap and it just looks ridiculous. So this looks better when you can get them to screw on and work. So, like I said, that leaves you enough gap for the rubber. And if we turn it over, should we put these on there, Ryan? It's all, as you can see, no you can't see, as you can see, push that rubber on and it doesn't squash it or anything. It is exactly, as you can tell, the right size gap, perfect for them to sit side by side. And now we're on the outside, so drilled through. So we've got my hole there because I need to drill a hole under this soffit board there. So what I've done, stuck my laser through the centre of that hole. You can't really see it much on the camera, but I can see it there. You can see the line there. So I know where I need to go. I'll just get a couple of saddles on the conduit there, so I know how far to have it stepped off. Line it up with the line, mark that up there. Drill that, stick the end of the conduit straight through into the loft, and we're good to go. It's a bit awkward to try and show you that bit, but righty. So I'm just in here, Ryan's just doing the conduit piece outside, so I thought I'd get in this cupboard and connect this up. So I'm sticking our new 20 amp radial circuit in there. I've moved the shower over to there. Shower is only temporary because as soon as the new bath's fitted, we're coming back to disconnect the shower altogether because they don't need it. I'll just clip this up the side and swoop that in. It's not the best, is it? But it's as good as I can get it in there anyway. And I need to get old DNO Tony out in a minute to isolate this whilst I change this for a Type A. So give me a minute and it'll be done. Let me just turn the radio off because I'll get demonetised and I'll miss out on £2.80 for this video if I let the radio play. Yeah, anyway, I knew I was drilling tiles today, so I went and got a new Bosch multi-bit, so as you can see they'll fly through these tiles. We know Myra. He says, was a bit harder than usual. Anyway, I think you get the gist. They fly through tiles nice and easily. So, I'm going to mount these there and then we're Copexing out the bottom. Let's get the Copexes in the bottom now. I'm just going to take them down and saddle them across to under the bath somewhere and then just leave some length, maybe about half the bath length. I hope that's enough for the bath company. So this bath needs two because one's a 13 amp for a whirlpool and the other one's a 5 amp for a lift. The actual bath itself lifts up and down, I believe. So that's what that's for. Obviously it's an accessible bath. So just looked at the manufacturer's instructions for the actual bath, and just to make sure I'm putting the right length of flex in the Copexes. It says 1.5 meters of 1.5 3-core flex, so I'll just go a little bit over that and do that. I'm going to strip and put ferrules on both ends, whether or not they just cut them off and do whatever they want to do with the end, I don't know, but I'll put ferrules on just in case, which I'm doing now first. May as well do it here instead of struggling in the back of the spur in a moment with it. Short 1.5. What colour are the 1.5s, Ryan?
Black, I think.
Correct. He does one. You get to use the Hoover when we're finished. There's always one that won't go on, isn't there? I'm using these Nipex ones today, you know, the little non-ratchet version. Very rarely use these, so I thought I'd give them a go. They seem pretty good, to be fair. I always do it twice though, don't you? You can't help it. So, and then I'll label up both ends, which one's 5 amp, which one's 13 amp for the bathroom fitter company, just in case. Right, as you can see, we're almost finished now. We're just tidying up. I'm just testing. So I'm testing for the flex, and then what I'm going to do is just going to leave them in the boxes underneath the bath, isolated still. I'm going to leave it isolated for the bath company. I'm going to label that end 5 amp, label that 13, and I'll put a cable tag label around the flex itself corresponding 5 amp, 13 amp. Just so there's no confusion and they don't do anything wrong. Not saying that they would, just, you know, trying to do my best. So, quick ZS test. Yeah, Ryan, do you want to turn that circuit on? Quick ZS test on the end of the flexes. Right, turn it off. 0.52 and 0.44 kA for a fault current, which is all good. We're on a 20 amp B20 on a TNS system, so that's all good. So I can safely get these back in the box now, wrap them up. And that is all labelled up. Like I said, I put a little tag on them. Labelled up, complete, tested, finished, tidied.